Coming up on today's episode, how to iron out a wrinkled LCD screen. You can test out the future of Flash, the latest on Rob's home theater PC build, and the new Blu-ray releases for the week of February 9th, 2010. This is HD Nation.
HD Nation.
Today's episode is brought to you by GoDaddy, Netflix, and Squarespace.
Welcome to HD Nation. I'm Robert Herron.
And I'm Patrick Norton. HD Nation is your guide to the best in HD content and the best in home theater gear, no matter what your budget is. Blu-ray, online, satellite, or cable, if it is in HD, we like it. Dude, my skull is throbbing.
Why?
I don't know if it was the soldering on the kitchen table or the 20-odd hours of How It's Made I watched this weekend. Matter of fact, it might have been 40 hours. The Science Channel ran something like 182 episodes. It was a marathon of How It's Made, a show about how stuff is made. Pinball machines, bizarre Canadian holiday desserts, surfboards, trucked retreads. It was incredible. It's HD, it's well shot, and it even sucked in my wife and the wee dude. More tools, dada is a really good thing to hear. Much better than, you know, Wonder Pets, Wonder Pets, Wonder Pets. Not that I don't like the Wonder Pets, but it was more engaging to see how those crazy. I'll bring one in.
Don't need to know.
You'll love it. It's like anthropomorphic animal heroes. Yeah.
Oh. Stuff I just don't need.
How It's Made. New episodes started up Friday, February 5th. Science Channel is where you can find it. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's really good.
Very cool.
It's like Pringles. I bet you just can't watch one.
There's a lot of good stuff on the Science Channel.
Oh, yes.
That's the one channel that kind of messes up on my cable service.
Really?
All the other channels come in crystal clear. That one HD channel I have a problem with, and they've been working for months trying to figure it out.
Call up Comcast. Fix it.
At least 3 times.
Tell them they need to send you 2 cable cards so we can get the silicon dust stuff tested.
Swap the cable card, swap the cable. They've done everything out to the street, and it's where the street comes into my place. That's probably where the problem is, and that's the last thing they want to touch. So they've been helpful.
I can lend you my giant wire cutter, bolt cutters. We cut the line, then they have to come out and fix it.
Loss of service. There goes my internet too. Then I'm doomed.
Well, just do it right before vacation. Call them up and have them fix it.
Go knock on my neighbor's doors. Hey, would you let me borrow that Wi-Fi?
Come borrow your Wi-Fi, dude.
Anyway,
hey, what have you been watching this week?
I've been getting caught up on the wonderful show called Chuck. It's stupid fun. I just love it. Build It Bigger is another show on speaking of the Science Channel. That's just cool. The guy doing it, it's like his 2nd or 3rd season now of being on camera, and he's getting a lot better at it. And it's more enjoyable. It's less about his fears of heights and other things, and more about the science and building.
I hate those moments where it's like the host and it's like, oh my God, I'm on the top of the, or sitting there with like some small creature he or she has to eat and spending like 8 minutes building up to eating the small creature, and we all know it's going to taste disgusting because it's got too many legs and a scaly shell or something.
You need to watch more Man vs. Wild then, because they just had the what would Bear Grylls eat. And they spent a whole hour watching him eat various parts of animals, and
I respect Man vs. Wild.
It gives me new respect. I mean, there are things that you can't eat. Anyway, it's a lot. Although Anthony Bourdain, I have to say, the new season is really good. If you like cooking and travel.
It started already?
Yeah. It's like 3-4 episodes into the new season. It's really good. The Panama episode, I thought was pretty awesome.
I'm glad I put the 2 GB drive in the DirecTV box. Yeah,
how'd that work out?
It's bigger.
Okay.
I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it's like I now have like 4 times the storage.
You just plugged it in and done?
It's painless. We'll talk about it next week. I don't want to talk about it now.
Good.
What I do want to talk about, if you watch video online, you're probably familiar with Flash video, especially if you get your YouTube or your Hulu on. In wake of the iPad announcement, I know you don't care, but there's been a lot of Flash, die, with knives being cast at the virtual internet screens. Basically, people hate Flash, or at least a lot of people do, whether you're talking about using it in websites or on video. This brings us to a couple things you probably want to check out. First up, YouTube's HTML5 demo. That's the things people are talking about as being the Flash replacement for Flash video. Think YouTube using H.264 video instead of Flash. It works on browsers that support the video tag in HTML5 and the H.264 codec, which means Google Chrome, Apple Safari, and Internet Explorer. Well, Internet Explorer if the Google Chrome frame is installed. Yes, it'll do full screen if the browser supports it. No, it doesn't work on Firefox currently, and it is a beta, which means it's a work in progress, so don't be shocked if it falls down and goes boom. But this this could be, essentially, this could be the future of video playback on YouTube and some of the other things out there, because
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them incorporate support for some of the open standards as well for video encoding, like Theora and all of those other literally free formats that you can use to encode your video and distribute it commercially or personally without any kind of fees involved.
Well, that's the kind of the Damocles sword hanging over H.264 video, MPEG-4, MPEG-2 video, is that if you are a major producer, you are charged for the rights to use that compression for the distribution of your video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And on a more cheerful note, for Flash fans, Adobe is finally bringing support to hardware acceleration for Flash videos. That means on your, say, an Atom-powered home theater PC, you can use the NVIDIA GPU to render that video instead of crushing that little tiny wee processor. It also means that if you have a notebook that offers video acceleration on the GPU, you should be able to watch Flash without burning your thighs, overtax. Actually, you might still heat up the notebook, but it will decode it as a smooth stream rather than a choppy video presentation, which is currently what happens on underpowered systems trying to decode high-resolution video.
Because basically, you can suck up a huge amount of your CPU, which means your fan usually fires up. The whirring noise, turning up the headphones.
Like on my gaming box, it'll decode that stuff no problem on the CPU. But on my portable devices or small computers.
There's better things for your CPU to be used for at this point than decoding video. Why not lay that off to the GPU?
Definitely.
NVIDIA ATI, I don't care. Just lay it off to the GPU.
Sorry. The big trick, though, is that you have to install the 10.1 beta. And yes, it's beta. Version 2, I believe, is out now of the Flash 10.1 file. And you basically just do a search for Adobe Flash Beta, and it'll take you right to the link you need. And cross your fingers, install. They're even working on 64-bit support for Linux.
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
Hopefully this will spell better things for Flash support for more platforms in the future. Otherwise, I think we're all going to migrate to HTML5 real soon. So
that'll be fun to watch. Coming up, we got an update on Robert's home theater PC build. And if you are a big fan of the Coen brothers, you're going to love our top 5 list this week. Netflix has been one of the sponsors of HT Nation pretty much since the beginning, and it's a pretty good match. We like movies, they bring movies to your doorstep. I've been using them for years, and you know what? Not just to get Blu-ray discs to my house. Blu-ray discs haven't been around for years. Well, I guess they have been around for years at this point. But they have titles that I can't find locally. Most of my local video shops either rent videos in Chinese or they rent VHS tapes. Not so useful on my current HDTV. With Netflix, though, like 90,000 titles are available online, including a ton of Blu-ray titles. And like I said, they ship them to your house. When you're done, you throw them in the envelope, you send them back. This is perfect, and it's fast. And if you really want fast, like 2 in the morning, I got to see a movie fast, then you can stream Netflix. I do it usually on a Roku box these days, but you can do it on your computer. And it's cheap. Plans start at $4.99 a month for DVDs, a little bit more for Blu-rays. As a new member, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership, and I suggest you do. Check it out at www.netflix.com/HDNation. And remember to type the www when using that code. You'll be supporting us, and you'll be getting yourself a great deal on movie rentals. The ever-delectable The Big Lebowski might not yet be on Blu-ray, more's the pity.
Hey, it came out on HD DVD.
It's true.
And I keep my copy in my safe along with my guns.
Which explains why it never leaves your house. Could I borrow your copy of the...
Oh, sure, let me dig past the firearms and... No, that's precious, man. That disc does not leave the house without an armed escort.
I'm not even touching that thought. It's a good plan, though. The Coen brothers' latest Oscar nominee for Best Picture and Best Screenplay, A Serious Man, is out on Blu-ray today, up against, yes, the new all-time box office champion, Avatar, and 8 other pictures, including The Blind Side, District 9, In Education, The Hurt Locker, Inglourious Basterds, Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire, Up, and Up in the Air. The Oscar Best Picture nominees, by the way, now include 10, not 5 films, in case you haven't heard the news. And I got to say, they cover an insane audience range, pulling from a few million, kind of a special interest kind of film, up to, what, 600 million and climbing for Avatar. A Serious Man joins 3 other Coen brothers flicks on Blu-ray: Fargo, Burn After Reading, and No Country for Old Men, all fine movies. And I got to say, A Serious Man has some gorgeous cinematography. Roger Deakins turning in the camera work, and the Coen brothers deliver moments like this.
The rabbi is busy.
He didn't look busy.
He's thinking.
The colors and detail are spectacular. This is a gorgeous video, and it's backed up by some solid extras for Coen fans, especially the becoming serious featurette on the making of the film, where the Coen brothers actually kind of almost discuss what's going on. There should be more interviews with the Coen brothers. Should I get to the top 5 list for the day?
Sure thing.
Okay. The top 5 Coen Brothers movies that we want to see on Blu-ray. First up, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? A master of digital, well actually I should say digital post-production. If you haven't seen the featurette on how they made all the fields look the way they do, it is worth your time. This is a gorgeous flick. The Big Lebowski, not so hot in the box office when it was released, but this is cult classic comedy, and both of us are desperate to see it. Desperate to see it, Blu-ray. Raising Arizona is still funny like 20 years later. Blood Simple, awesome noir, in full color, in Texas, in a bar. It's worth your time. I put the Hudsucker Proxy on the list, even though I am the only person in the world that actually liked this movie. And since this is an HD Nation top 5 list, let's just throw in the rest of the Coen Brothers movies. Miller's Crossing, Intolerable Cruelty, Barton Fink, The Man Who Wasn't There, and The Lady Killers.
Hey, that's a mighty fine list you have there, Mr. Film Studies major. Anyway, it is time for the Blu-ray releases for the week of February 9th, 2010. First up, we have Stargate Universe, Season 1. Our producer Roger is more of a fan of the original series, but I think all Stargate fans will find something to appreciate in the universe, especially toward the end of Season 1. The Blu-ray edition does feature some fun extras, including behind the scenes and video diaries. You should definitely check it out. Next, we have Nova's Becoming Human. Presented as a trio of hour-long segments, it explores the history of the human race with interviews from world-renowned scientists, as well as the footage from the field that highlights some of the latest finds that have helped us fill in the blanks. So if you love human history and archaeology, it's not to be missed. Also released on Blu-ray this week, Bronson. No, it's not the actor. This film is loosely based on the life story of Mickey Peterson, who gave himself the nickname Charles Bronson, and is thought to be one of Britain's most violent prisoners. It's encoded as MPEG-4 video with a DTS 5.1 master audio track, and it stars Tom Hardy as he leads us through the story of how a guy who was originally sentenced to 7 years in prison ends up spending 30 of the last 34 years in solitary confinement. Other releases this week include A Serious Man, as we talked about earlier, Couples Retreat, Dante's Inferno, an animated epic, Dare, Drop Zone, Halo Legends, Hard Rain, The Phantom, The Running Man, Serious Moonlight, The Stepfather, and The Time Traveler's Wife.
Coming up, Robert Heron's going to show off his favorite new remote control, which involves waving a ring in the air. No, it doesn't involve a hobbit, but it should be fun to watch. Right now, though, I got to say thank you to one of our sponsors, Squarespace. If you're always on the go, they got something you might be interested in. Not just the application itself, which is pretty slick, squarespace.com. It's an easy way to build powerful websites, but their new iPhone application. Custom interface inside your iPhone that matches their site completely. That means your phone, your site, and your data are all in the palm of your hand. Upload pictures on the fly, save drafts, preview your posts before you publish. It's really cool. You can even view your site's statistics right there. Just click on the Stats tab, and, well, guess what? You've got everything you need to control your website everywhere you go, at least if you've got a connection to AT&T. Got more than one Squarespace account? Not a problem. You can access them all from inside of your phone. Just hit the Accounts tab to move around from site to site. Sound interesting? Well, you should check it out. Squarespace is a pretty powerful tool. It's pretty easy to use, and we can give you a very free trial. Then, if you decide to keep using it, when you check out, fire up your credit card, use the code HDNation, and you'll get 10% off your order for the entire lifetime, which means, well, 1 in every $10 off your bill. It's good stuff. Check it out, squarespace.com. It's worth your time, and if you decide to keep your Squarespace trial, do us a favor, use that code HDNation. When you do, you'll be helping us out. Okay, what is the word on your home theater PC built? It is not here. I do not see it in front of us.
I had ordered all the parts last week, and they are all arriving literally as we're taping this. Some are arriving today. Some are sitting at the post office I got to go pick up. The majority of it's arriving tomorrow, so I'm thinking within the next 48 hours, that box is going to be assembled.
So you're going to burn in and have it ready to go to demo on next week's show?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I did make one parts change though, and this occurred basically because of shopping for the motherboard. It was the Zotac Ion DE version, the ITX DE version, that it's been out there for a little while, but there's a slightly newer board called the F Series, the Zotac Ion ITX F Series motherboard, and it adds a PCI Express by 16 slot. And a lot of you actually wrote in right after I made the suggestion for the DE board. Had a lot of people respond going, oh, I was hoping you'd go for the board that included the F-Series board that included the by 16 slot. So if you wanted to add, say, a TV tuner or the Seaton cable card product when it's released down the road, you'll have that slot available to use. And I'm like, you know what? That's not a bad way to go. And it was about, I think, $10 more over the regular DE board. So I went ahead and just loaded that up and,
Makes sense.
in the shopping cart, and I've got that coming too. So
cool.
I'm excited. I've got parts. I've got software ready to go. I found my copy of Windows 7. I'm going to throw on there for now.
So
probably try out other things too. But
the one thing we were talking about last week that you were kind of up in the air about, remote control, what we're going to use to actually control this thing without getting your butt off of the couch. Can I say ass on this show? Without getting your ass up off the couch.
Yeah, tush. Exactly. Whatever I'm going to use, it has to be wireless. And my real dilemma is how to control everything. So Hillcrest Labs, we were talking about them, I believe, a week or two ago. They have a product called the Loop Pointer. It's $100. I think we have one, actually. I asked them to send us one, and they did, and it's super simple to set up. It's an RF device. It has a USB-like key, you could say. You plug in the USB receiver into any computer. Works with Mac or PC, or PlayStation 3 for that matter. Sexy, no? And it literally, you wave it around to control. It's cursor control. That's really all it is, including left-right mouse buttons, scroll wheel technology, and a button to like hide the cursor and things like that. This is literally just for cursor control.
You're still gonna so you're still gonna need your regular universal remote control for your HDTV and your other stuff. This is basically for interacting with the home theater PC.
Totally. I'm also experimenting too. I have one of those PlayStation Blu-ray remotes. It's a Blu-ray, uses the Bluetooth technology, and I'll have a Bluetooth receiver in the system too. So I'm curious to see if I can use that remote to control the whole interface. That might be another way to go that offers a few more buttons, say, and it's a little more, I think, usable. But I like this. This is actually just, as far as compact, it is, the price tag might be a little steep, but if it works out and it goes to sleep and it looks kind of good sitting on the table.
How much?
99 bucks.
Oh, that's not nearly as bad. I mean, we live in the land of like people paying $400 for a universal remote.
I have to say, I actually do have it hooked up. We can show that. Control is actually pretty smooth. You can, of course, play with your mouse settings on either a computer or, I don't know about the PlayStation 3, and it's really just for navigating the menu system. It's not really for gaming or anything like that. But for computers, I have to say the setup is, there's no software that comes with this. You just plug it in and it starts working. And it made it pretty easy to control. So I'm going to be experimenting with this, with the new build, to see if it works out for me. I'm going to need a wireless keyboard of some kind too, and that's the other big deal. There is a virtual keyboard built into every operating system out there, but that gets a little old. And if you're going to be doing email and stuff like that while sitting on the couch, you got to be able to type, at least to do your logins and everything for the various video sites and whatnot that you'll be using. So there are a couple of things I've been thinking about wireless keyboards. One, it would be nice to have something like a notebook keyboard that has a touchpad on it. So there are a couple companies out there doing this right now. One company called Adesso, A-D-E-S-S-O, and Logitech. They offer products in the $60 to $80 range. They're available widely. And IO Gear also offers a wireless keyboard with an integrated laser trackball.
That one's actually pretty cool.
And it gets a lot of good reviews. And it's about $52 on Amazon, which seems to be on the low end of the pricing scale. So,
and unlike some of the cheap wireless remote control pseudo mouse device keyboards that are out there, it doesn't fall apart upon completion of assembly.
Exactly. And there's also a new keyboard coming out from Microsoft called the ARC, A-R-C, and it's about $60.
That was the one that was at CES.
Oh, is it? It's got a nice curve to it. It doesn't include any other control functionality. It doesn't have a trackpad or a little trackball or anything like that.
I was thinking that would be a nice like car PC keyboard.
That's what I'm thinking. But if the price is right online and pairing it with something like this, like the Loop Pointer, that would be, I think that would be pretty good. Because it's something about the Loop, just leaving it laying on a coffee table. It's like the coolest looking remote. People will just pick it up and start messing with it. And
stop! You're changing the movie.
Let me use this for a week, and I'll get back to you and to see if it really will be the be-all, end-all of what I'm looking for.
So we'll have the full review of Hillcrest Labs next week. And actually, you're pretty curious about what other people are using to control their home theater.
Definitely.
PC.
And please send suggestions. If you have a home theater PC and you use a wireless technology for keyboard and cursor control or menu navigation, I want to know what you're using. So please send us your contact or send us your info about what you're doing. And when you do contact us,
send us your checking account number and your routing number.
I don't want that info. That was just
That's humor. Don't send that information to us. We could get sued. Or
when you do contact us, though, let us know where you live in the world so we can point it out to everyone.
Plus, we'll be able to understand why we can't find it if it's not available in the United States.
It also just gives that world community kind of feel to the show.
The world community.
Ah,
Robert Heron, citizen of the world.
Yes.
Coming up next, if there's a wrinkle behind your LCD flat panel, we're going to try to help you out with that one. Right now, though, let's take a moment to thank GoDaddy.com. I have been using them for years. Matter of fact, I think I've been using them since they came out because renewing websites with GoDaddy is so cheap. GoDaddy's hosting plans are pretty slick too. No long-term contract, 99% uptime, 24/7 support, and did I mention no annual commitment? You don't like the website anymore? Stop paying. They're not going to try to charge you for the rest of your contract because there isn't one. Something else you'd be thinking about, not sharing your personal private information. GoDaddy.com offers private domain registration so your name, address, and phone number aren't exposed for the whole world to see, like spammers or that jerk that really hates the way you write about his favorite operating system. Want to score a discount? Use the code HDN8. You're going to get 10% off your entire order. And if that doesn't work for you, check out all the HD Nation GoDaddy deals and codes. We got them up at revision3.com/GoDaddy and save yourself as much money as possible. You'll be helping us out, and well, hey, you'll be getting cheap deals.
From the wow you guys love over-the-air department, the HD Nation sprang into action after our quick search for a fee-free over-the-air DVR for Tommy last week turned up only a single option.
Oh my goodness. Whenever we do something where it's like we have some option and y'all don't like, the email gates are crushed.
With good suggestions, I may add. You guys came through on this one. Should we stack it up?
You guys came through on this one. Not like those other ones. Send him the hate mail this time.
What? Anyway, let's start with Bill from Fresno, California. He suggested something called the Moxie HD DVR. This company's been around for a while. Now, let's be clear that the Moxie's products, they are not over-the-air tuners. Actually, they are cable card products, but they offer a no monthly fee. Now, they offer no monthly fee, and they incorporate a channel guide. So
that's cool, but
that's really what you're paying for from TiVo is the channel guide service along with regular updates.
Will Moxie work with an over-the-air tuner if you add one into a Moxie box?
That I don't know. It didn't seem to indicate that on the website.
Because this isn't helping Tommy. It's a cool product, but it's not helping Tommy.
I really didn't. So we could pretty much skip that one then.
All right. Stephen B., Ben H., Brian X., and many others suggested this one.
Yeah. EchoStar has a product. These are the Dish Network folks. They actually make something called the DTV PAL DVR. Now, it's $300. It's available at Sears or Sears Online, and it incorporates dual tuners, so you can record 2 shows at once while watching a 3rd recorded show or any combination thereof.
That's pretty cool.
30 hours of HD storage, 150 hours of standard def storage.
Small hard drives. It's only got about a 250 gigabyte hard drive.
I'm assuming if you look around, you can probably hack that up really nicely.
Google this thing.
I will say, though, that Dirk S., another loyal HD Nation viewer, had an observation about the product, pretty much a potential pitfall of the DTV PAL. Quoting him, he says, the guide is limited by the data streams sent by the broadcaster. That's PSIP data, PSIP data, and recordings are time-based, like a VCR, rather than a name-based recording like you have with TiVo DVRs. Now, this means if the time or date for a program changes, the timer must be manually reset. There are, however, no monthly fees associated with the device, unlike TiVo.
Interesting.
Very cool. That might be the way to go. That was by far the most popular answer we got from
folks.
A bunch
of people emailed in about
that one.
Definitely. Adam from Piermont, New South Wales. Kieran from Sydney and Greg J. all suggested Divico's Tivix brand, TVIX. I shouldn't say Tivix. It sounds too much like Divix, not the cool one, the old one. Anyhow, basically they're PVRs, including the flagship M6640 and dual tuner HD PVR. We're talking about a universal jukebox that supports most media formats, including ISO images, does 1080p output over HDMI, 802.11n Wi-Fi is built in. And you were looking for it. You found the 20N version online for about $380. So
it doesn't include a hard drive, so you have to add your own storage. But that might be a good thing because the way hard drives expand and become cheaper, it's great to be able to have that option to.
Is this a server and a set-top box?
Totally. It's about the size of I'd say it's about the size of a large set-top box. That includes room to add your expansion needs, but it also, I think, it gives you that laundry list of multimedia file support, and it incorporates dual tuners. Now, the ones they sell here in the U.S. support ATSC. I'm assuming
that's my big question.
If you the digital standard we have here in the U.S., and I'm assuming if you buy them in other countries where different formats are supported, like in the case of Australia and New South Wales, I believe they're using DVB as far as their digital broadcast standard. So that requires a different tuner technology in order to receive that signal and decode it properly.
Good to know.
Yeah, but some good options out there. I think the product from EchoStar is pretty much on the short list of what you should probably look for.
I don't know.
First.
The Divico and the EchoStar sound pretty good.
Actually, that box is like the do-all, complete with NAS support as well.
It's not just an HDTV tuner and recorder; it's a set-top media player and server as well.
They claim you can jam 6 terabytes into that thing, and I would like to see. That's a lot of hard drives.
That would be like 3 2-terabyte hard drives.
That'd be pretty wicked.
Pretty wicked. Terabyte, not gigabyte. From the "Oh no, what happened to my screen" department, Eric writes in and sends some sad and distressing pictures. He says, I have a 46-inch Sanyo LCD that has developed a watermark of sorts. It looks like a wrinkle or shadow behind the glass. It is very annoying. Dude, I hear that. Do I need a new TV or can I fix this? Thanks, Eric from Fargo, North Dakota. Wow.
Yeah, there's like a, it looks like the picture he showed us, it looks like a slight wrinkle in the middle of the screen, and I could see that's very annoying. Of course, if you have a flat color, like in this case, the picture shows green, and it makes
much
those
more noticeable.
Very much so, compared to if you were looking at regular video content. So, if you know it's there, you'll probably be all annoyed.
See it over and over again.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't believe you're going to be able to fix this one. Now, there's a number of reasons it could have been caused. I'm assuming nobody just dinged it really hard right in that one spot, and this is an actual wrinkle.
I've verified there's no toddlers in the house. He wasn't using spray cleaners on it, which we've seen. This, like spray cleaners in rear projection televisions, we've seen some ugliness there. You were saying the brightness enhancement film?
Yeah, all LCDs, all modern LCDs use enhancement films that basically are like sheets of polarizers that help direct light that could be going in any direction to fire it straight out of the screen to make the picture look brighter when viewed from front on. And between that and the diffuser layers, these are very thin layers of material that are all sandwiched together. And it could be something like static in the factory or some other manufacturing defect that could have caused that. And another issue could be the backlighting system as well. If the backlight's installed incorrectly or it's not properly tuned to the display, it could be causing heating fluctuations within the display itself, where over time it could cause a wrinkle in the material if it's not all properly done and put together.
That would suck. Is there a fix?
I would try. If you had some kind of a roller, like either, that's hard to say what kind of, I have a great screen cleaning roller that would be ideal, just to try gently on there.
But your $300 originally designed to clean the fronts of $10 million printer press things?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Something that reliable. I wouldn't use like a lint roller that has the sticky material in it. Those things are pretty sticky. And I've actually had them grab the display.
I was going to say, as you rip the top layer off the display.
You might make it worse.
So maybe like a wooden roller you'd pick up in a paint shop or something like that.
Something very smooth, and don't apply a lot of pressure just to see if that affects it at all. I have a feeling you're just going to be stuck with this. You could also try a microfiber cloth.
Microfiber around your thumb and try rubbing up and down.
Try a little massaging right there, very gently, a clean microfiber, so you don't scratch it or do anything worse to the display. But otherwise, I have a feeling this is probably either a heat-related defect that over time it just caused that warping in the material, or it was something. It was subtle when it was manufactured. Maybe it was a little static charge that caused the layers to bond a little too much, and it just became worse over time. So
yeah, I got to say, I hope you can roll it out. Otherwise, it's almost always less expensive to actually buy a brand new HDTV than to repair one, especially if it's a couple years old.
TV for the kids' room.
TV for the kids' room. TV for the garage.
There you go.
TV for the garage and the kids' room. If you got a service contract, maybe it qualifies as a manufacturer's defect. If you're really lucky, it's still under factory warranty, and they will replace it.
Oh. That's the best thing you can hope for.
Yes, yeah, I hope it's still under factory warranty. Hey, we want to congratulate Brian Brushwood and the entire Scam School crew, Eileen Jordan and everybody else. They completed 100 episodes of Scam School. You can go to revision3.com/scamschool and see the 100th episode that comes out this Thursday. If you're not watching Scam School yet, you should check it out. Basically, Brian teaches you how to pull tricks and scams in the bar and on the street on people. It is fun. It comes out every Thursday, revision3.com/scamschool. Plus, like Brian's got the epic hair.
Epic.
Epic.
Proper use of the word. No doubt. Hey, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of HD Nation, and as always, we want to know what you think. So do send us your comments, questions, or suggestions to hdnation@revision3.com and include where you live.
Yeah, we like that part.
Yeah.
It gives him a global sense of, being in the universe. Get your world on. HDNation.tv is the website. You'll find all the links to subscribe to the show and links to everything we talk about on the show. And do us a favor, subscribe and watch and tell your friends. Until next time.
Hey, thanks for watching. I'm Robert Heron.
And I'm Patrick Norton. We'll see you next week on HD Nation.